So, hey guys, it's Adam, and you're watching Iowa Butterfly Garden. I'm gonna start doing some more indoor plant videos and some houseplant stuff because it is awful outside now. It's nope. There's no way. I'm not going outside. I'm not doing videos out there. It's raining, and it's October 10th, I believe, 2017, and it is just yeah, it's Tuesday, October 10th, 2017. It's gross outside. It's terrible, and it's raining, and it's cold, and it'll start snowing pretty soon here in Iowa. Probably not, but it's going to keep raining and being cold and disgusting. So we're done with outside. So I'm going to do some inside stuff. So today I'm going to be talking about aloes because um, my favorite things to grow inside, my favorite kind of houseplants are succulents, and aloe is probably my number one favorite. So right here, you're looking at a pink blush aloe. I'm going to show you some of the aloes that I have. This is a pink blush aloe. It's an aloe hybrid. And they don't get very tall usually. This is actually pretty big for an aloe hybrid. Most of the time what they look like right here, this is my another aloe hybrid called Blizzard. I'm sorry, I'm going to turn that light on just because. And here's a smaller Blizzard aloe. I actually divided it from the parent plant. I also have this right here. It's a climbing aloe. Aloe ciliaris. My mosaic aloe. Aloe Hemingway. I think that's how you say it. Hemingway. Yeah, I love this one. Look at the patterning on that. And then I've got my bigger ones. There is this one is called Apache, and I really like it. It's nice and spiky. It's flowers. It was just flowering. You can see there's still a couple left, but they have these kind of like green stripes. They're kind of pinkish orange, and then they fade out to white and green at the tips. They're beautiful. Here, I'll put a picture in here. And then last but not least, I have, this one is called Roy Capi. And it's going to flower. I believe the flowers are kind of an orangish yellow color. And it looks really nice. I really like this one. When it's in the sun, it's usually a lot more red, but you can kind of see that the spikes have red tips. It looks a lot like aloe vera. But yeah, so let's talk about the care for these things. One thing is you kind of got to watch to see if they're in their active growth period. Normally, since a lot of these are pretty good about growing in the United States, like if you live a little farther south and it's not raining crazy like this, they're pretty good at growing outdoors. I keep mine inside because Iowa is not good for this. It's not good for growing them outside, but even in a pot, you just got to make sure you know what the active growth period is. Normally it'll be summer. Normally it's pretty close to what your plants outside do, but clearly these ones are in their active growth period right now, the ones that are flowering, because as you can see, they are flowering. And that is a sign that they are in their active period. So that's when you want to water them. Aloes, now with succulents, generally I will say that the thicker the leaves, the more I'd water them, or the less I'd water them, sorry, because that means they're storing more. The thicker the leaves or the stem or whatever, the more water they can store, and the less you want to water them. If you water them too much, they'll rot. Aloes have really thick leaves. They have some of the thickest leaves you can see here that of any succulent that I have ever grown. But funny enough, they're actually one of the more moisture-loving succulents. So that doesn't mean water them a lot. That means still let the soil dry out in between waterings. I'd say let it dry out, and then as soon as the soil's thoroughly dried out, wait about a week. No, that might be a little too long. 4 or 5 days, and then water it again during the active growth period. But be careful. It depends on how hot it is, either indoors or out. Like right now, I have to water less because if it's not warm enough, the soil might get too cold, and the water won't evaporate as quickly, and it'll also lead to root rot. So you want to be careful about that. So I let my soil dry out in these aloes, and then I wait, because they'll usually tell you if they're not happy. Like, I actually lost a flower stalk because I was being a little too precautious. You see, they'll dry up if you don't water them enough. So the tips of these flower stalks actually did dry out because I didn't water it enough. So if it starts to like get a little bit dry, that means you need to water it. But they're pretty self-sufficient, so the plant will live even if you don't water it very much. That is one thing that I found out. As far as plant food, I would use, and I don't have the bottles with me right now. I actually, for feeding my plants, I use the Miracle Grow plant food that comes in the little soap pumps. It's like the foaming plant food, and it looks just like a pump for hand soap, for foaming soap. It comes out, it looks foamy, and you just put a couple pumps on the soil. Just use it according to instructions. I'd feed them during the active growth period about once every month. That's about how often I did it. And as far as propagation goes, I'd say the easiest way is to divide them. So you can see this is the parent plant that has all the flower stalks coming out of it. Right here, it's the biggest one. But then you can see it has created some offsets or pups. And you can take these off, and sometimes they'll have roots on them. Sometimes they'll be well-developed roots. Sometimes they will be not rooted at all. And sometimes they'll have a little bit of root. Sometimes some people like to root these in water. I prefer to root mine in soil. I just make sure I take them off, and if they don't have roots, I cut the end so that it's flat, and then remove the lowest leaves and just kind of bury them in the soil. Make sure I water the soil thoroughly, and then I let it completely dry out. Yeah, you want to make sure that the soil has a lot of time to dry. That's the main thing with aloes. And you could also, I've seen some people do this. Now, there is a lot of debate about whether this is possible, but I've seen it happen before. I've done it one time before, but unfortunately, I didn't write down any steps or anything, and I can't remember how I did it. I did manage to root some aloes, some aloe vera leaves. Or was it aloe? No, it was my old aloe firebird, which unfortunately got attacked by a cat. Yeah, so that wasn't good. It got attacked by a cat, but back when I had it, it was great. It actually bloomed, or it was really nice. I got it to root from leaf cuttings. Now that I can remember my train of thought, it came back to the station. Yay. But yeah, I took 5 leaf cuttings, and I got 3 of them to root, and 2 of them actually gave me a tiny little plant. I can't remember exactly how I did it, though, but I'll try to figure it out some this summer. But if you can't find the aloe that you're looking for anywhere, like online or anything, you can always order seeds if you can't find an actual plant. But I'd say just buy the plants, or if someone gives you like a leaf or allows you to divide it, try it that way. But yeah, these are nice. I really like my aloes. Let's see here. As far as light goes, it's not very sunny right now, but normally it's pretty sunny outside for these guys. So I put them out. I put them by the window. My bigger ones, and then my smaller ones go on the windowsill, and then the larger 2 right here, and my pink blush, my 3 aloes here, they go on this table right here. That's kind of by the window. And they get a lot of light that way. An aloe will not live if it's deprived of sun. It will never live if it's deprived of sun. It'll die, it'll stretch, and it'll die, and I've seen it happen before. It just gets weak, and then it dies. It's not pretty, and there's not a lot you can do if it gets stressed because of lack of light. It'll start to stretch, and there's not much at all, unfortunately, that you can do to fix it. I've tried, and I haven't been successful. I've tried a lot of different things. So make sure they get plenty of sunlight, and they definitely talk to you. That's the thing about aloes, is they will talk to you. They will tell you if they're happy or not. Now, if some signs that they are happy is stuff like this. You can see it's producing flowers for me. They're one of those plants that rewards you. It gave me flowers right here. It's giving me stuff. because it's happy, it's healthy, it's having a good time, it's having a good old time. The other reason, the other thing that you should look for, you can see my pink blush aloe is putting out some plantlets. You see a larger one here, and there's an even smaller one right there growing even closer to the plant. And in the spring, I will take those and grow them as their own plants. I'm going to wait till the spring. So you might be wondering why this one is called pink blush. If you put it outside and it's in sun, if it gets some sunlight and it's absorbing that vitamin D or whatever from the sun, it will start to turn. It'll turn a lot pinker. It'll be a darker color. You can see there's some pink edging here, pink edges, but it'll be a lot darker. It'll be a totally different plant if you put it out in the light. It's just going to be happy, it's going to be healthy, it's going to be having fun in the sun. And that's why this Roycope means Little Red Riding Hood, and it turns like a sunset outside. They're just a lot nicer. And then these mosaic aloes, they will turn bronze. They'll turn bronze in the sun. So if you put them out in the sun in the summer, they will definitely be really, really nice, and they'll turn colors. They'll be so happy. I have a gold tooth aloe as well, but that is not at this house. It's at the other house. Let me think about it. I'd say the top 3 things for aloes is the top 3 do's I'd say for aloes are: do make sure that you give them a drink every once in a while. Do make sure that you, in the summertime when it's appropriate, that you put the plants outside, because watching the hummingbirds and the butterflies love the flowers, and the colors are just great. And also, do kind of start an aloe collection. They're a nice plant with many different forms and species and hybrids, and they're so interesting, so why not? Also, and the do nots are: do not overwater this plant. Do not water directly on the leaves, because the water will get inside the leaves, in between the rosettes, and that'll make them rot. There's not a whole lot you could do. And do not deprive this plant of sunlight. And that's about it. They're pretty easy plants to grow. Just, they talk to you. They'll tell you if there's something that you're doing wrong. So it's okay. So make sure you just kind of listen to the plant, get a feel for it. I kind of stopped houseplants for a while, so I had some plants. I didn't really take care of them because I was just kind of done with houseplants for a while. It just got to be too much, since I'm so used to outdoor plants. But this aloe was the one thing I'm like, I'm just going to let these live for a little while, and I'll try to take care of them as best I can, but I don't know what I'm doing. But this aloe, this pink blush, this is the oldest aloe that I have. It's just been a survivor for a long time, and it's put up with a lot of stuff. So I'm like, I'm going to grow some aloes. That's going to be the first thing I get when I get back into houseplants. So that's why I have so many. Yeah, I went out and I bought 5 aloes in the same trip, just because there were so many that I'd never even heard of before, but I knew that I could do it. So that's kind of how I got back into it, and I really like houseplants now, and I'm really comfortable with them. So yeah, that's pretty much all you got to do with aloe. So thank you for watching. If you got questions, comments, concerns, or anything for a new video that you want, I'm going to try to do an update on my Roycope aloe when it blooms. So yeah, that's about all I have. Any questions, comments, concerns for any other plants, anything that you want to know, I will definitely get to those as soon as I can. Thanks for watching. Bye.